how's it going? Welcome to the Cringe Binge podcast. I'm your host, Alberto, and I'm sitting here with
Charlie.
and with
Your boy, Nicky Moore on the beat. Wicca Wicca.
and we also here with
Also Jarrett.
also Jarrett.
Also Jarrett.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
many.
First and last name.
That is your first and last
My
name?
first name is also.
Jarrett? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it's already devolving.
So the basis of this podcast is we're gonna talk about a movie that we watched very recently, and we're gonna tell you if it's worth watching or not. So the movie that we started with in this very first episode of the Cringe Binge podcast is Uncharted, the movie, based on the video game adaptation from the PlayStations.
What a fucking shit show.
So
Yeah, first off, I was telling this to Nick the other day, but for a movie called Uncharted, they sure use a lot of fucking math.
that's true.
I will agree. There is a whole lot of map stuff that happens in that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, to
Coordinates.
be fair, like the games are all about like clues left behind and this way and that way and over there. And this thing that you think has the treasure is actually this over here because it's another clue. And oh my god, we're going around in circles. It's a whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, the only thing I know about the games is that El Dorado is actually a fucking sarcophagus or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
actually.
that's one thing I do want to talk about for a second is me and also Jarrett over here.
Also Jarrett.
We have been the guys at this who have actually played through the games.
Yeah, me and
And-
Charlie came in completely blind. We wanted to see a master class of a movie.
Honestly, I'm really
And,
curious what it was like for somebody who's never played the games before and has no previous recollection of like
So,
what they're about.
As a standalone action comedy, I think it was a fantastic movie and I had a great time watching it.
Okay.
Because I don't know anything about Uncharted.
Mm.
The closest thing I've ever played to Uncharted is probably like in terms of like searching for clues and like being a detective and shit. The closest thing I've ever played to Uncharted is The Witcher, which is like
Okay.
he's a medieval detective.
I've actually
So,
never
like,
played The Witcher.
The
Yeah,
Witcher
right.
is like a medieval Nathan Drake.
No.
No, I
like-
wouldn't go that far, but like there's like based on what you're saying that it's like a looking for clues and figuring shit out that already happened. It's kind of like The Witcher in that sense.
Gotcha.
So, have you played? I mean, well, do you come from any experience with the Witcher Netflix show or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I love the show. I haven't read the books. Because I don't have money to buy books.
That is true.
Yeah.
Books are
We're
expensive, guys.
college
Yeah.
students. We're
College
dying over here.
lifestyle's rough, man.
Yeah.
It
So
is.
I haven't read the books. I've played the games, and I do. Even though the show isn't the same as the games, or what I know about the books, it's still a good show, and I enjoy it.
Right.
But in terms of Uncharted, I don't have that experience of this isn't like the game, and I'm just coming in as Marky Mark is a fucking asshole.
I'll say this: like I've been familiar with Uncharted for a while now. I always hear comparisons of like Lara Croft with Nathan Drake,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously like both inspired by basically like Indiana Jones.
Tomb Raider
And
and
I knew-
Uncharted are very similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. But I always hear that like Uncharted had like very strong writing, very strong characters.
Mhm.
And if I'm honest, while I'd never really played Uncharted, why the hell is Tom Holland, the Spider-Man boy, playing as Nathan Drake?
You know, a lot of Uncharted game fans ask themselves the same goddamn question.
Yeah, I think everybody, when they saw that first original trailer, everyone was like, "There's no way this is real."
'Cause
This
I
has gotta
thought,
be
like-
So
fan-made."
here's the thing. And I don't even know why this is a controversial opinion, but for some reason it's a controversial opinion to like Tom Holland.
Okay.
Is it?
What? No, I don't think that's controversial. I think people just. I think it's less of I hate Tom Holland and more of I just wanted somebody else. It's like if somebody walked in the room and you're like,
I've-
oh, it's this person. I would have preferred this other person, but
Well,
because of that.
I've known people who hated Tom Holland the moment he jumped into Civil War. Like I know people who hate Tom Holland as Spider-Man as much as they hate Tom Holland as Nathan Drake.
Well, that's
think it-
because he's not Tobey Maguire. Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
say right now, I like Tom Holland as Spider-Man. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I personally I don't see Nathan Drake with this like little boy. Like he has such a baby face. I'm not saying that he acted bad in the movie. That was a good
Yeah.
he did a pretty good
Yeah.
performance.
And even I know what because I looked it up the other day. I know what Nathan Drake looks like in the games, and even though they don't look anything alike, I probably still would have been fine with Tom Holland playing it had I played the games, because Tom Holland is a good actor and he did a good job in the movie.
Mm.
He
I
was
think it-
kind of it's just that he always has that like naive look on his face. Like
That
he,
is that
and
is
they
true.
that's
kept
his
calling
whole
him a kid.
That's
that's-
his whole character in the movie, is that he's a small little he's a petty thief who gets like pulled into this world of international espionage and larceny, and he just has no idea what he's doing and chooses to trust people instead of backstabbing everyone at every turn.
Yeah, and I think that he does a good job portraying the kid in himself. I
Right.
think that there was at least for me, my big things that got me is there was one scene where it was him and Sully talking. It was supposed to be this very heartfelt moment where Nate feels this emotion because he had just learned something the second beforehand. And then I'm listening to this whole scene, and I'm just like, all I hear is Spider-Man. And I think it's just because of how he portrayed himself then,
Like-
and that kind of got me. But otherwise, I think he did
Well,
a great job.
For me, that's kind of the same thing as like Tom Hanks being in Sully, and like when he's crashing the plane into the ocean, like, oh, all I hear is Woody from Toy Story.
Mm.
I
You
mean,
mean
that's
Sully,
true,
the
though.
movie about the guy flying like the aircraft, not Sully as in like Sully from the movie.
No,
No, Sully. Tom Hanks.
Because you
isn't
said Tom Hanks as Sully, and I was like, what the fuck?
No, so it's the it's the movie about the plane being crashed into the ocean because
Right, right.
something goes wrong with the engines.
I think in part it comes from a place of like typecasting,
Yeah.
because a lot of different actors have talked about
Oh,
this
yeah.
in interviews and whatnot,
uh-huh.
where they feel like after they've been in a certain role that brings them a lot of fame and popularity, it comes to a point in time where anybody who calls him and says, "Hey, we want you for this thing," it's to basically be the same thing that they've always done. Ryan Reynolds has
Yeah.
talked about it before too.
Yeah.
He
Like,
had
so-
had a couple funny movies
Mhm.
for a while there, and then ever since then he's been typecast, and they're like, just do Deadpool, literally just do Deadpool. And they're like, okay. Same deal with Tom Holland, I think, to an extent, is that like he has this very boyish nature to him, partly because of the Spider-Man movies, and because of that, like when they cast him in something else, a lot of people have this assumption that like, oh, he's gonna play it the same way he did Spider-Man,
Yeah.
which isn't the case. But there's a reason for that, because
There-
a lot of
There was that
companies
movie.
want that.
There was that movie when he was like 7 years old about the tsunami.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was a good movie, and he was fantastic in that. And
Mhm.
like, that
Yeah, I'm not saying like Tom Holland doesn't deserve like
He's
is not
certainly a
bad
good actor.
yeah,
Yeah, he's a great actor. I'm just saying that like when I think Nathan Drake, I think like Mark. When I saw Mark Wahlberg, I was like, he seems to fit like the role of Nathan Drake way better
Mhm.
than Tom Holland does.
That's a lot.
When I
something a
saw
lot
the
of people
trailer,
say.
I was like, is Mark Wahlberg? No, it's Nathan. Tom Holland's playing Nathan Drake. That's
Mhm.
interesting
Well, like,
because he has such a baby face. And
okay,
like,
here's the thing. Would you rather here's a hypothetical. Would you rather have someone else play Nathan Drake? Would you rather have someone else besides Tom Holland play Nathan Drake, or would you rather have anyone but Chris Pratt play Mario?
well, that's a different topic
that's
for
kinda
another
hard.
day.
No,
That's kind of
Whenever the Mario movie drops, we're definitely
we're
gonna
going to
we
see
are
that.
definitely
Absolutely.
seeing this movie. I can't not see it.
Yeah.
Here's
Exactly.
the thing. I'm just curious. I mean, here's the thing with that whole thing. Chris Pratt is
In everything.
in everything. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
gonna be fucking Garfield.
Within the span of a week, we
Well,
found out he
that's-
was going to be.
That's because Bill Murray
Um,
hates Garfield now.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame him.
Yeah,
don't blame-
exactly.
Yeah,
Did
because
you
ma-
hear
motherfucker
why-
didn't even read the script.
Did you hear why he even signed on to that? Because he's very known to like he doesn't like he signs on for very few movies,
Exactly. Yeah.
and he signed on to Garfield because at the time he didn't read the script and he thought it was about like Andrew Garfield or something. Like, no, not Andrew Garfield, like the president.
Yeah.
He thought it was about
yeah.
President Garfield.
Yeah.
And so he was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And then he read the script and he was like, what the fuck is
Yeah.
this?
What the fuck does a presidential?
But he was already signed on to like a 2-movie
Yeah,
contract,
like,
so he's like,
what-
fucking fine.
What the fuck does a presidential biopic have to do with lasagna?
He's just like, what in the world? Why
Why-
is President Garfield talking about eating a sandwich out of the refrigerator?
Exactly.
I didn't know that Garfield hated Mondays.
Yeah. Did he sign a particularly bad executive order that day?
He was just like, no more sandwiches.
Yeah. And so
Only lasagna.
but going back to typecasting, like typecasting Tom Holland as as fun-loving Spider-Man boy is kind of the same thing as like typecasting Johnny Depp as a Tim Burton-esque
Mhm.
creepwad. Even though Johnny Depp is like the purest, most amazing guy ever,
Yeah.
like he in all of his movies, he's low key like kind of pedophilic.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Everything from Jack Sparrow to the fucking Mad Hatter is
To-
like slightly like, please don't get within 6 feet of me.
Yeah, I'm not
And
allowed.
not for COVID
yeah,
reasons, like
I'm-
because I feel like you might touch me in
Yeah.
a place I don't want you.
I'm
to.
not allowed within 500 feet of an elementary school.
Yes,
I mean,
literally
the Mad
that.
Hatter, he looked fucking disgusting.
Oh my,
Yeah.
oh my, the worst. Okay, I love Johnny Depp. However, a bit of a tangent, but however, Gene Wilder was such a better Willy Wonka
No,
than
1000%.
Johnny Depp.
Oh, I agree.
Gene-
I
I
He
wanna-
has
prefer
more
that movie.
iconic lines than that.
Yeah.
than that guy.
Honestly, the older
Good day, sir.
the older movie did more to creep me out than the newer one.
Exactly, but like, I'm sorry for getting us off on a
Nah,
Nah,
you're
that's okay.
fine.
Yeah.
That's
That's what
fine.
this is for.
This is all the topic.
This is
of
the Cringe
typecasting.
Binge
Yeah.
podcast. Can I get an applause for that one? Yeah, that's what this is about.
Yay.
Oh, these soundboards are gonna get.
But
Scuffed.
We haven't. We just used them now.
I know, and it's
but
gonna get worse. Believe me,
Yeah.
folks.
What does this one do?
Hey,
Okay.
yo, shut the up. Get on with your point.
Okay, but just to round out our character one, I did want to talk about our girl who played Chloe for this movie,
Oh, of
just
course,
for the simple fact that there were some very weird words in English that they had her say. Like I remember there's this one specific spot where they're in like this like where they're in like this they're in this hole trying to dig themselves out, and she's like,
Oh,
"Oh, find the K hole."
oh yeah, oh yeah, like fucking.
Yeah, K hole.
No, I think it's a. We're gonna drown if we don't find the K-hole. That's what it was.
That's what the thing too. One thing that did bother me was that they couldn't decide on a fucking accent for this character. What race is she supposed
She's
to be?
supposed to be Australian, because
No,
who the
She's
who,
supposed to be
Chloe
she's
in
supposed
the
to be-
games is
Okay.
like almost like a Hispanic Indian.
That's
sort of.
Well,
her
here's-
nationality,
like-
but her
her
way of
accent is,
talking is
like,
Australian.
You
for
could
some
tell, like
Yeah,
just
like-
watching. I'm like, you're Australian.
The
Jesus.
gay
Yeah, like
hole.
I have expected her to fucking bring out the
Find the fucking keyhole, mate.
I have expected her to bring out the fucking Vegemite at some point.
Just walking down the corridors, just like,
reason. Oh, hey! After we find this K hole, you want to eat some Vegemite?
Yeah.
so it's fucking treasure, eh?
But yeah, when it comes to the movie,
Crikey, that's a lot of fucking gold.
Why do you sound like Steve Irwin?
Because
crikey, we found a lot of gold. God,
Hey,
that's
look,
fucking horrible.
it's a crocodile
When it
next to the gold.
when it comes to like video game movies, like this is like there have been
Okay.
there's a history for video game movies to be fucking garbage.
except the
yeah.
Sonic movie.
Oh,
The
yeah,
Sonic movie was
alright.
like mid. I would say like it's pretty good, but I wouldn't say it's like the best video game movie. Uncharted is like
Okay,
Oh
here's a,
no!
com-
Oh, no.
compared to other video game like it's not the best movie, but when you compare it to other video game movies, Sonic is the best video.
I
game
watched that
movie.
teaser trailer, honestly, and I was like, nope, I'm out.
yeah.
Oh,
Well,
did you
they-
watch the
And then I
updated
heard they
one?
fixed it, and I saw the poster, and I was like, okay, that looks better. I'm not going to spend money on your movie, though,
Okay, that's fair.
because you almost made that happen. That means I have no faith in you.
God, the
Well,
fucking eyes.
Well, here's the thing, right? They
They're on
He had
absolute
teeth.
well
Why did he have teeth?
They fulfilled their promise of an entertaining Sonic movie that didn't look like fucking the Seventh Circle of Hell.
His shoes were branded Nikes. This man lives in another goddamn dimension where there are giant
Well,
golden fucking hula
okay,
hoops floating around, and
my-
he wears Nikes.
okay, here's the thing.
Where do they make Nikes?
Mild Sonic spoiler for you. It doesn't have anything to do with the plot, but in the movie, he gets his shoes in the human world, even though his feet are definitely not human shaped.
So he had bald feet before?
I don't know.
Shoeless
I don't know how that
He had
works.
shoeless
He just
feet?
kind of rolled up and just had terrible busted up shoes. It's just,
No,
We'll have
I
to
think
get some
I think
serious
the- I think
scabs on his feet.
the first thing
Run around.
the first thing he does when he fucking ETs into Earth is that he like crash lands in some fucking bumfuck nowhere town, and just finds a shoe store and is like, oh shit, these shoes look pretty cool. I'm gonna wear these.
I guarantee you they were like, we're totally going to get a Nike sponsorship
why
out
do
of
I
this.
why do I feel like
Nike, bring us your best red and white pair of tennis shoes, please. And Nike was like, fuck no. Nobody's going to buy that shit. I don't care who's wearing it. LeBron James himself could come out there with a pair of red and white
Oh,
shoes
okay,
looking
we're
like
not gonna say
Sonic,
that.
and they would be like, nah.
no
nah.
people would buy it if it was ever on LeBron James's feet. I will tell you that right now.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
the nerds would love it. The athletes would love it.
They'd be like, "Oh my gosh, LeBron James wore my shoes."
You know what shoes I would buy
go
from
fast.
LeBron James? Free Hong Kong Nike shoes.
The internet
Oh
would
Jesus!
the internet would Photoshop him into that level 1 of the Genesis game, going around the loop hills like.
I don't remember what we were talking about before.
Where,
No,
the reason why
we
I
were
brought
talking about video game movies.
So let's
yeah,
talk
that's
about
fine.
video game
how
movies.
they all
So,
suck except for Sonic.
Yeah, here's the thing with Uncharted, like it was more just like national treasure. Like you
Right.
can see.
Honestly,
like,
yeah.
I can,
it
yeah,
fits
I can
in with
honestly
yeah,
that.
it fits in with like that category of like movie of like going
absolutely.
going away from all the world and just
Mhm.
kind of exploring a cave. And you know what? I'll say this.
It was a generic treasure hunt movie.
Yeah.
Well,
It
I'll
really,
say
That's
this.
not, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, it was fun. While
Yeah,
you watch it,
no.
it's not really like the most like innovative movie out there.
It's not
But,
gonna
like-
win any Oscars.
No.
Well, maybe I
Well,
don't know.
no.
Who
It might.
knows?
They
Tom
may-
Holland's in it, so probably.
They may be like, like Mark Wahlberg may deserve Best Supporting Actor or something stupid like that.
Absolutely
He's
not.
probably gonna get like at least a nominee.
Mark Wahlberg doesn't.
What was the worst part of that movie?
Would you say Mark Wahlberg's the worst part of that movie?
No,
of
here's-
Uncharted.
Here's the thing.
Why?
His delivery was off.
Would you rather have him? Would you rather have him go back to his music career?
Oh no.
No,
Heavens,
for
no.
for a second I
Mark
thought you were
Wahlberg
gonna
made
go.
songs.
For,
Marky Mark.
yeah, he used to make like he had like a
used
rap
to- he
career in
used
the
to
That
be
90s.
makes it sound like he was a rapper. Please don't tell me Mark Wahlberg
Well,
was
so,
a
so-
rapper.
so here's the thing. You know Vanilla Ice?
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh,
Marky
God.
Mark is pretty much the same in the same realm as Vanilla Ice.
Oh God.
You know
Wait,
when
was
you
it
say
clean rap or was it just like I'm gonna say some stupid stuff to a beat?
It was like
it was kind of self-aware.
Mark
not
Mark
really.
Mark Wahlberg saw Vanilla Ice's Under Pressure and was like, that's gonna be every song I ever write.
But yeah, when it comes to like video game movies, what I was trying to say before I was rudely interrupted by you.
Man, shut up.
So anyway, one thing I did like about the movie was basically like whenever they were in that cave and they were just having the two keys, it felt like a video game.
Yeah,
Like
it
it
did.
felt like a two-player video game where like the second player was taking way too long for the two other players who were
Oh
fucking
my
God.
drowning in a
fucking-
water.
playing.
Online multiplayer
No,
mission. You're like,
no.
dude.
Exactly.
Dude. He's
Or-
like, hold
or-
on, I'm
so
checking out the
this,
graphics.
Funny story, like
Look at this brick wall. Shut
so-
up.
like my sister and I, we still are, but to a lesser extent these days because we're both in different colleges. But like when we were kids, my sister and I would always play the Lego video game.
Oh
And so,
no.
like,
oh.
it would always be just 2-player mayhem. Of
With
like,
that string attaching the two of you if you get too far apart. You're
exactly.
like, for the love of God.
yeah, like for so friggin' so it was Lego Harry Potter, Lego Indiana Jones, and Lego Star Wars.
You didn't play Lego Batman.
No, I played
Oh.
Lego Batman. She didn't like Lego.
I only
Batman.
got
Oh,
through
that's
the
a
Yeah, but
first.
that-
level.
Most people like Lego Batman and
I
not the others.
loved Lego Batman, but she was like, "Ew, superheroes," and she didn't want to do it because
What?
she.
Huh?
Well, she was like a horse girl.
Oh, that
She-
explains
yeah.
it. That explains
He
it.
was a horse girl.
Yeah, she was a horse and Harry Potter girl, and so all we did was Harry Potter. And then
Player 2 be over here like, look at the ray tracing on the puddles.
oh my god,
It's like,
Wait.
dude, I'm dying here.
yeah, like
I'm
oh
about to
my-
drown.
like in the fucking yeah. So believe me when I say this. Playing a 2-player game is fucking the worst.
Yeah.
Especially Lego Harry Potter because they hadn't figured out all the mechanics yet. Like the whatever engine the Lego games run on was still under development, and it was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, there was like the cool thing about like that like sort of like sequence in that movie. Like a lot of scenes felt like they were a part of the game. And
Right.
like I remember I like came to Nick and like whenever it was like the airplane scene that's like in the trailers, I was like, "Hey, I gotta get the controller. What? Oh, what? It's the
Yeah.
fucking movie. Like it
Or-
felt like it
When
legit
do I-
felt
when
like
do I-
There's a quick time
something
event.
to
Yeah.
play- exactly.
But
And
here's
like
the-
whenever he's like fucking trying to grab the fucking rope, it's like pressing X.
Yes.
So is the is the movie based on the first game or is it just like a?
I think it's its own
So
thing.
this
The
whole
movie-
this
Wait,
I
wait,
don't
no,
know
no,
'cause I
no.
never played the
My,
games.
can I?
okay, go ahead.
So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
my whole question is the movie based on one of the games or is it an entirely different plot line with the world and characters of the games?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Now, let me sort of explain. So, this is going to go into spoiler things. I don't know if we want to do that. I doubt we're going to.
That's the horn.
Spoiler horn.
It's the spoiler
So,
horn.
Spoiler alarm! Oh no! You better step away if you don't want to get spoiled in the movie.
All right, you got
Okay.
5 seconds. 5,
4,
4,
3, 2, 1. All right.
2, 1.
Let's go here. Now, see, a lot of stuff was pulled from all 4 games.
Okay.
Yeah.
But at the same time, because, and I had to look this up, in Uncharted 1, Nathan Drake is 31 years old.
Huh. I didn't realize it was that old.
I didn't realize that
Yeah, I
either.
knew
I
it
thought he
was
was
like
maybe
this-
mid-late 20s.
I thought it
but
was 25. Yeah, that's
they
crazy.
they were like, no, this is a prequel to any of the games. But we're gonna rip scenes directly copy pasted from number 3. We're gonna take plot elements from number 4, and we're gonna take stuff from number 1 too.
31?
He's 31 in Drake's Fortune,
the
Uncharted
first
1,
game,
the
first
first
game.
game.
Okay, so he's 31. So that's Tom Holland is 6 years younger than Nathan Drake is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got at least
That's
we
why-
got at least
that's-
2 years before they would even make another movie.
That's
Right.
exactly why I was saying that like it was weird to typecast Tom Hall or basically like cast Tom Holland as Nathan Drake because he looks like he's fucking 12.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So,
Uncharted. Which one is the spoiler horn?
Why does it? I mean, I already pressed it.
We're already in spoiler territory here. We just go.
He just wanted to make sure he
Yeah.
got to it.
Okay. So
He wanted a
he's-
chance.
Okay.
at it.
Double spoiler. The post the one thing throughout the entire movie I was absolutely sure of was that Sam was alive.
Oh, I knew it.
And I was just like,
Okay.
I didn't even know who Sam was, and I was like, okay, he's the brother who went missing and is possibly dead, but we never saw a death scene, so he's alive.
Yeah.
And then in the post-credit scene, when Sam is writing the thing, I'm like, oh, okay, I saw that coming from
Mhm.
an hour away.
Okay.
So
I-
the deal with, like for example, the plane scene where they have all those carts like falling out of the back of the plane.
Yeah, that
That's
felt
ripped.
like-
That's directly copy pasted from the 3rd game.
Okay.
But at the same time, you have Chloe. Chloe is in the 2nd game, and is she in the 3rd? I don't think she's in the 3rd.
in the 3rd game for like 2 chapters.
Yeah, she's barely in the 3rd game, but she's mostly in it for the 2nd game.
Mhm.
But again, this is a prequel, so this is when they were all younger than that. And then the whole concept of him having a brother is only in the 4th game.
Yep.
They take because 1, 2, and 3 came out before Last of Us,
Mhm.
and Last of Us is when we were like, all right, guys, we're actually gonna like try and make like deep story games. And they made Last of Us, and everybody's like, "Whoa, Last of Us was cool." And they were like, "Well, we're gonna make another Uncharted then. Let's
Yeah.
actually make it good." So they were like, "Long lost brother."
and then they shit the bed with Last of Us 2.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we're not going to talk about
We're
that.
not gonna talk about that. That's
Talking about
when
Uncharted
they
the
make the Last of
movie.
Us movie. That's when we'll talk.
Yeah.
That shit
But
show.
Oh, that's gonna
a couple of other
That's a real
things-
thing.
Wait, that's gonna happen.
They're making a series.
Yeah.
HBO Max is getting a Last of Us fucking series.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh, is this gonna be another Hobbit Hobbit
idea.
TV show kind of thing?
The Rings of Power.
But since we were on the connection to video game conversation, there's a thing in the second post-credit scene where they're talking about Roman and why Roman wants to know about the ring. Now, if I remember correctly, Roman is one of the main characters from the
Roman is the villain in the first game.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So that last post-credit scene, because I think there were two,
No,
right?
the
first
the
post-credit
first
scene.
post-credit scene
First
is
post-credit scene
was-
Roman, and then the second one is Sam.
hmm The second one is Sam, because, like, duh, he wasn't dead. And the first one is supposed to be a direct, like, precursor to the beginning of the first game, because he gets a clue to go find Francis
So,
Drake's grave.
What are they gonna they're gonna wait 6 years to make another Uncharted?
I don't think they'll wait that long. I think it'll probably be 2 or 3 years, but
I
it's
think
coming.
they're either that or they won't pick up on this credit scene. Because another big thing in that credit scene was, hey, look, Sully's got a mustache. And Sully's mustache is a big deal. Like, in the games, it's like,
That's
Sully,
like
what his
what-
big thing is he's got the white mustache.
Oh, and the person like they're at
and
the
so
end,
they made Mark Wahlberg look like he CGI'd the thing on.
after the at the end of the first post credit scene, they both turn around and they're like, "Oh shit!" And we're at the point of view of the person who's presumably holding them at gunpoint.
Yeah, we leave with a cliffhanger.
Yeah, is that supposed to be Keyhole? What's her face?
Chloe?
Yeah.
I don't
think
think so.
so.
I honestly don't think so. I think
I
this
doubt
is
it.
this is going to be whoever our next villain is.
Ooh, no, maybe Roman. Maybe what's her name?
Are you talking about who are you talking about? Blonde girl?
The blonde.
Oh, Elena.
Elena.
Elena
yes.
Fisher, so-
Elena is now. This is again only in the games, but Chloe. The entire movie they make you think, oh, these two. Nah.
Nah.
No. Now they have
I didn't
they
pick up.
they get back together in the second game, but like Elena is the girl. The girl. She was in the first game. She comes back in the second.
She's in
She's
all of
more
them,
in the
yeah.
third. In the fourth, they're fucking married.
So
They have a daughter. By the end of it.
okay. I wasn't picking up on any sexual tension from anyone in that movie. Like there was no sexual tension
Which
between
I,
any of
I,
the
I am happy they did that. Where they didn't
Like, I was
overly
like,
push it.
Spider-Man directly stared at her ass. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I was
I was
walking
Spider-
o-
I was
she's
doing
walk-
it too.
She's
I was-
walking away, and he went, and Mark Wahlberg went, "Eh."
no, that was just like, oh, I'm a young man who like
He was
is a
totally flirting with me. I remember that.
as a
He's 25.
Yeah,
he's
he-
6 years before 31.
yeah
in the
yeah.
first
So
game, so
he's a 25-year-old who isn't dating anyone. So obviously he's gonna look at that ass. But like
Yeah, well, I mean, it's programmed.
it's
Men
Australian.
look at that stuff.
yeah, and so but also
Ladies, if you think guys don't, that
Guys,
Absolutely, yeah.
guys do. I'm sorry.
I'm
Not-
sorry.
Not to break your heart, but guys do.
we're fucking animals. We move on.
yeah okay. But the so was I don't
He's
know.
Lost his train.
Yeah, I lost my train of thought.
Let me just wind up
no,
the doll.
No, I lost my train of thought, and now the only thing in my head is a proper Scottish welcome.
Oh yeah, we have to talk
I
about that.
want to talk
Yeah,
about
yeah,
that.
yeah.
That was my
The
favorite villain
Scottish
in this.
guy
Can you
was
please
Iron
tell me
Man.
what he said? The whole thing. All I caught was the last 3 words.
Oh, hang on. Fuck. Oh,
Did you even understand it?
No,
Please tell me you did.
No, I used to be able to speak in like a.
I'd love it if it went to like Scottish theaters and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, I understood what he said," and then Tom Holland goes, "Fucking what?"
Tom Holland is British.
Yeah,
He-
I think what he
Yeah,
said
but he's not
was
Scottish.
it's like, wow, you come out to play with the big boys now, but now you're about to get a proper Scottish welcome. And I'm like, oh Jesus.
He said, "Sorry."
You've come to play with the big boys now, but now you're going to get a proper Scottish welcome.
Yeah, legit.
Now, one
He
thing-
was so like it was so likable. Like I didn't want him to die, but,
But I knew he had to.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's almost obvious.
He-
It's like
he
the
was-
evil
he-
henchman.
Yeah, it was like, what's a good parallel where like, the henchman is just as evil as the main villain, but they're also the comic relief.
I'm trying. Yeah.
Sidekick.
The kid-
I almost said
Well,
side piece.
Oh,
Oh.
Iago.
Or Kronk from fucking
Oh,
Emperor's
shut
New
up.
Groove.
Kronk isn't
Minion.
evil. Kronk isn't evil. It's Iago from Aladdin. Is
Yeah.
just as evil as what's his face?
But he's funnier because he's got, "Ow, that hurt."
Gilbert Godfrey.
Wait, can
One-
I I'm gonna go on a little rant here because I'm
Okay.
actually quite mad about how they handled this. But in the movie, they had Antonio Banderas play the big bad, quote unquote, the big bad.
Yes.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so I'm okay because what they end up happening is they kill him off so that way the girl can be the big bad guy at the end.
Yeah.
Which
okay,
I'm
sure.
okay with doing that. But I
Girl
felt-
power.
But I timed it. You know when they killed him? They killed him 1 hour into the movie. There was a whole hour left in the movie, and they killed him off.
30 some
Yeah,
odd
but
minutes.
what
But I'm
else?
like,
What else was he
that's-
supposed
They
to do?
gave him the okay. You gotta understand. I was waiting because this was like okay. I kept hearing Antonio Banderas is in it. I was like, okay, he'll be cool. He'll be cheesy cool. And then I watched him, and he had 3 scenes, and then there was one scene where he was being evil, and what he did was he sicked a black girl on his dad,
and that was
made
it.
her, and
That's
that
all
was
he
it. And I
did.
was like, okay, so he is evil, cool. When are we gonna get like character? And then at the end, he goes into his monologue. He's like, my father.
My father was a drinker.
He's like,
"What's a drinker?"
my father gave up on me, and this time I will put respect back on the family name. And I was like, are you fucking kidding?
Yeah.
He was just about to start giving me
It's just
real
like-
juicy shit.
And it's,
Yeah.
he kind of pushed off the idea of like the old Spanish
Yeah.
family where they'd be really good at sword fighting or something like that, where it
I
like
hate
runs through the
fighting.
family. And I was
I
expecting to
hate-
see something crazy like that. Like you're on the ship. You know how cool that would have been for them to fight like that?
Spanish man go swashbuckle with Tom Holland.
No, and then we're just seeing Nate get beat up by some old Spanish dude. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was a missed opportunity.
Yeah, but like
He
what
barely
else
got
could
any
he
character
do in the
development, and then they
movie?
killed him
'Cause,
off,
like,
and I was
the
like,
whole
it's
thing
like-
was
I don't know.
basically
They
kinda-
paid him millions to do 3 scenes, so I don't know.
No, fair enough. Antonio Banderas got his paycheck.
I guess
Yeah.
he's-
Facts.
I am
Now
become
he's got to do Puss in Boots and Shrek 4.
I became a pirate because I have daddy issues.
my father.
My
Yeah.
father had no respect for this family, and I will bring it back by being a pirate.
Also, I've seen throats cut. That was the weakest throat slice.
It,
I have
it's just,
ever
it
seen
was just
in
a red
film.
line across
Yeah,
his
there's no
body.
blood.
Most times, at the very least, you'll see them cover themselves, and then they have like ketchup run down their fingers or some crap. And you're
Fucking
like, okay,
cheer
you
wine.
can tell the man's bleeding. This man looked like he got a paper cut
Yeah,
across
like-
the middle of his neck. I'm like, you're fine. Stand
It's
up.
fucking, okay,
It's
here's the-
just a flesh wound.
you remember the movie Deep Blue?
Yes.
At least it's not that bad, Like
I don't think I ever saw it, but I recognize it's like a shark movie.
it's this crappy it's not as bad as Sharknado, but at the same time it's not as good as Sharknado because it's trying to take itself seriously, but it's a bad movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
And so like in that movie the blood straight up looks like cherry pie filling.
I think I remember seeing that movie like long time ago.
It
It was like a.
But
sh- it
here's
was like
here's
the
here's the
shark
thing.
horror
Here's the thing.
movie.
It has the funniest death scene in cinema history because fucking Samuel L. Jackson is like standing up at the and being all like heroic and like a fucking inspirational speech like we're gonna get out of here alive and we're gonna beat the sharks, and then all of a sudden a shark jumps out of the water and eats him, and then that's it.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
And that's
It's like they can tell they were waiting underneath the dock, and they're like, "All right, guys, we're gonna wait till he's being really, really like enthusiastic, and when he's being like a real leader,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna bite him in half."
this is literally what happens. It's like, and we're gonna get out of here.
Whoa!
He should have been like,
it's
"Motherf."
a shark.
Yeah, Samuel L.
Oh
Jackson.
wait,
for
it's,
more
it's,
than like,
it's
it was like,
Samuel L. Jackson.
"Motherfucker,
Yeah, that's what I'd be like. It's a shark. What in the world? Get this thing on me.
Get this motherfucking thing on me, motherfucker.
I'm tired of these motherfucking sharks in this motherfucking ocean.
Okay, so Uncharted, right?
Oh, let me just say one thing also about that movie. That end sequence when like they're just carrying a ship with a fucking plane.
It's
Oh, yeah.
insane.
I thought
Okay,
that was a
here's
little
the
out
thing.
of the box.
Those things would have fucking crumbled.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah, no
moment
question.
They
They're
went
old ass
airborne.
ships. How the hell are they gonna?
They're from
stay down?
fucking.
Well, if you think about it, there's ships from that old. They have barrels and barrels upon gold sitting in the bottom of it.
Hang on.
So
when
when they just fall straight through,
yes.
Yeah.
all that weight would just
See,
destroy
but
it.
here's what you're forgetting. This is a
This is a movie.
No, not even. Not even. Okay, there's a level of cheesiness that you get with like popcorn action flicks where you're like, this is dumb fun. The popcorn's
Okay,
good.
those.
And then there are video games where you're like, this is fun. I'm playing through dumb shit. You're getting a dumb popcorn action flick based on dumb schlock video games, shoot 'em ups, treasure hunter.
No,
I'll
no,
say
no,
that
no,
in a
no,
It's
no,
like
second.
no.
it's magnified.
Magellan's ships if we're to believe that this is if we're to
If we are to believe,
if we're to suspend our historical disbelief and say that Magellan's ships have been marooned there since 1521.
Oh, that's so long. Oh my gosh. There's no way.
He died in 1521.
500 years, 501 years.
Yeah, and so if we're to believe that those ships have been there for over 500 years, Tom Holland stepping onto the prow would have made those ships crumble into goddamn dust.
Well, you also got to remember these are ships made in the 1500s, so they're already not great ships. So
Exactly.
It's just
I
like,
mean,
wow.
yeah, that's. I mean, even if like the whole thing was like as unbelievable as it was, and like just throws logic straight out the window, it was still really fun.
It was a little fun.
That was a
yeah, like,
really
I'm not gonna
fun
lie.
scene. I'm not saying that
They
that
started-
wasn't a
they
fun
started-
scene.
They were like, "All right, get the choppers. We're gonna chop them out of here." And I was like, "You are gonna do what now?" And then I watched them lift up in the air. And I was like, "This is."
But
kinda
I do
cool.
want to.
Yeah, no, the inner action fan in me was like, oh my god, yes. But the historian in me was like,
This is stupid. But I want to.
I feel like I should be more mad about this.
yes,
But I'm having a really good time.
exactly.
What is
Honestly.
this blasphemy?
What is this
Yeah.
blasphemy right here?
Yeah.
But for you two who haven't played the Uncharted games have like at least the first 3 games
Yeah, like-
have this natural like supernatural effect
Yes.
somewhere
Yeah,
in it.
so like I'll give you that. El Dorado never existed, and it literally El Hombre Dorado is not a sarcophagus. It's not a city. It's just some fucking guy who got painted in gold, and then when they found him, it wasn't enough gold, and then they created the legend to be like, oh, there's some golden city.
Yeah, but to go further into that, there's a lot more supernatural stuff because in the first game there's like
Zombies.
there's
Nazi
zombies. Yeah,
Literally Nazi zombies.
literally Nazi zombies. The second game
Oh.
there's these like super buffed up.
What is this, Wolfenstein?
No,
No,
let
these,
me-
these games get
okay,
weird.
I gotta explain, because just saying literally Nazi zombies doesn't quite put it together. The coffin is carrying some sort of dead body. I don't remember who's in the
Wait.
coffin. But when you open,
Did Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated steal its plot from the Uncharted games?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
there,
Where
the
the,
gold,
where the fuck did that come from?
Because
this- it's
because
like-
in Mystery Incorporated there are fucking robot Nazis that are piloted by a fucking zombie Nazi, and then the big Spanish treasure is a crystal sarcophagus with a demon inside of it.
Oh, you're kind of close.
That's close.
You're close
There's
to how it is
I've
in the first
never
game.
heard
They-
of that in my life.
And that's the plot of Mystery Incorporated.
Like the
So
live action. Are you talking
so-
about the live action one?
No,
No,
it's-
because there's another one.
no,
that's
it's a,
weird
it's
like
a,
talking
that.
about the
it's a-
cartoon.
It's an
Yeah.
animated TV series called Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated.
Oh wait, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Now. Yeah.
And
yeah.
so what you're telling me is that this TV show stole its plot from Uncharted.
very closely. Like to further explain Nazi zombies, because that's very oversimplified. A lot of stuff during World War II, Hitler sent out a lot of different
Oh, yeah.
convoys all across the world to try and
Mhm.
find like
That's
lost
what- that's
treasures,
what-
secret weapons,
that's
anything
what-
like that to try and help
yeah.
him in the war, gain riches and whatever. They sent some people over to South America, right?
That's what Red Notice is about.
Yeah, to find, well, in this case, they were to try and find El Dorado.
Yeah.
Well, they found out that it was just a fucking coffin, 8-foot coffin. They opened it up, and there's this mummified corpse inside, and it lets out, like, shit dust.
Uh-huh.
And this shit dust is
dead-
what
That's more or
legend
less what happens
describes
in the
as
movie,
a
too.
curse.
Dead person.
And the
dust.
curse turns them into, like, four-legged, into, like, hunched over, like, ancient cavemen people
Yeah, it's-
who
it's
eat people's
crazy.
faces.
Okay, so this is Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, and then
The second one is even weirder.
yeah, the second one, the whole thing is they're searching for what's the name? Shambhala, the city of what's it called. They look for the Tree of Life. That's what it was.
Right. The Tree
And
of Life.
so when you get to Shambhala, there's Shambhala, Shangri-La. You know,
Mhm.
you get there and there's these like super buffed up like archer dudes who are protecting it, and they're freaking nuts. It's weird. I think you
They
should
look
look it
like
up.
Yeti people.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
crazy.
When they drink the sap from the Tree of Life, it turns them into 8-foot tall Yeti people. I'm
Yeah,
not
it's-
kidding. Blue skin, tough, coarse, white fur. All
So-
over
It's
the
weird.
So is Uncharted 5 going to be about Atlantis or some shit?
I
Uncharted-
would hope so.
The way
I
Uncharted,
wouldn't doubt. I would not doubt that.
the way Uncharted 4 ends is he's officially retired,
Uh.
but he has a daughter who I remember who plays her
I don't remember.
because they
his name.
actually like mocapped people for the
Oh.
4th game. But it's literally
Oh,
somebody
yeah.
from. Do you guys
Was
remember
it
that?
was it motion capture or was it good motion capture?
It was good motion.
It was
capture.
PS4 motion capture.
Okay.
So
Oh yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
But I don't remember the. Do you guys remember that new show that came out with Tim Allen in it? And it was like him being like
Oh,
Last Man Standing.
I thought you were talking about. Isn't Tim Allen in the like? There's a murder in room 428 or something, or
I don't know.
there's that murder. Oh no, I'm thinking
You're
of.
thinking of all only murders in the building. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, Only
Yeah, that's
Murders-
what's his name? That's
That's
Martin
the-
Short.
yeah,
That's,
Martin Short.
Who else? I can't remember the rest of them, but yeah.
Caitlin Dever. Caitlin Dever, if you recognize her, she was in a movie called Booksmart in 2019.
I've never heard of them.
Never heard of that movie in
heard
my
of
She was
life.
in Dear Heaven Hansen. Oh God.
Oh wait, let me see her. Let me see her. Let me see her.
Okay, here's the thing. The
Oh yeah, she looks familiar.
But when
Wait,
the
let me
game
see.
came out, it was like 2014, so she was way younger.
I've never seen the. Oh wait, that's the. Isn't that? Oh, for a second I thought that was Juno. The person who played Juno.
It
But then I
might be-
remember that they like.
I don't think.
they're
No, I
different.
don't think so.
But I think there was either setting up that they could do a game about the
No,
daughter,
that's
but they could
Paige.
also do a game about another Chloe game. They could do a game about Charlie Cutter, who's a character in the 3rd game.
Mhm.
They have options to do. At the end, they also talk about Sam and Sully going on an adventure in the 4th game. So like they have
made-
options. So
They made a 5th game, but it was like a shorter one that was like more action, less story, and it was
so it was kind of like a separated DLC.
yeah.
it was long enough to where they were like, this is a 2nd game.
Yeah.
But it was designed to be DLC
Yeah.
because it had the person from
Like
the 3rd and 4th game and somebody returning from the 2nd. It was oh shoot, she was in the movie.
You got Chloe and I think
Chloe.
it was Nadine.
Chloe and somebody in the 3rd game who returned in the 4th.
No, it was
named
just some.
Nadine.
No, that was just the 4th game. She was
Just
just
the
in the
4th
4th
game,
game.
Nadine, and she come back. But anyway, yeah, it gets wild in those movies.
Yeah.
stuff
So
that
that's
they
the only
deal
reason
with.
why
Or
I'm
even
able
the
to
game,
suspend
yeah.
my disbelief a little bit because I've seen some weird stuff.
When you see people turn into Yeti people by drinking from the sap of some ancient,
You know, at that
glowing
point, you
crystal
stop.
tree,
You stop.
you've lost hope. When you get literal Nazi zombies back in 2012, when the first game came out, I don't even know. No, it was PS3. It was like 2007.
Yeah, it was old.
When you get literal Nazi zombies, all bets are off. So when you see a pirate ship glow up, you're like, yeah, okay.
So if y'all had to like say like compare this movie just like as a video game adaptation of the movie, how would y'all think this fares compared to the other ones?
compared to the original Mario movie.
Well,
Oh,
just there's like a lot of video game movies. There's like the
Certainly
Mortal Kombat
superior to the
movie.
old Mario movie.
There's like a recent Mortal Kombat movie that came out too, and I
that
think that one was pretty
actually,
good.
I feel like that's a more apt comparison to anything else that's come out.
What is?
The
Oh, the
Mortal
Mortal
Kombat movie that came
I
out
didn't
recently.
see those.
Yeah, I
Well,
didn't see
see, the deal with that Mortal Kombat movie was like they made a big deal about how they were casting like they had like an all Asian cast except for like the people who aren't Asian,
Uh-huh.
which
like
you know
Johnny
that's
Cash.
actually
Isn't
that's
there
a
like
really
a-
cool thing.
Johnny
Isn't there like a Duke Nukem esque kind of guy in Mortal Kombat?
Jax maybe, I don't know, but anyway,
Johnny
they-
Cage, yeah.
yeah, that guy too.
He said
He's
Johnny
not-
Cash.
Johnny Cash.
No.
The guy sitting there with a guitar and the haircut,
There's
like
a man.
ready, fight, and he's
And
like,
he just starts saying, "There's a man going round taking names."
and then he gets closer and he just beats you over the head with the guitar.
Yeah.
Finish him.
But
When
anyway,
the man comes to town.
But that one got a lot of the same hate. The newest Mortal Kombat movie, because it was considered to be very generic action slasher sort of movie.
Well,
And
guess
it
what?
definitely was,
Mortal Kombat is a generic action
Yeah.
game.
but
Yep.
like it
No,
was
it's
setting up.
not.
I would agree it is. I'm sorry, Jarrett. Go ahead.
It was designed to set up sequels.
Mm-hmm.
It's designed to set up a franchise because it's based on a fair video game franchise.
The only
And
the o-
so it's
Oh.
very much in that same boat of a first movie that sets up a lot more stuff and is just kind of on its own. But once we get out in the future, you'll have to consider it as like a whole with like a trilogy or like a set of long movies. Like God forbid we get 10 Mortal Kombat movies in whatever series. Or
You know
whatever,
what?
but
Here's the thing about standalones that become series. The best example of a standalone that is good as a standalone and also good in the series it's in is A New Hope.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
the
I would
only
agree.
thing the only
but
thing
that
I'll
was
say,
they almost only made one movie.
Yeah,
Like they didn't know if they were even going to get a sequel.
exactly. Which is why they made it to be a standalone.
Mhm.
But then they made it into a series, and so as a standalone and as the beginning of a series, New Hope is great.
Off topic. I know he wants to get back, so I'm just going to make this really brief, and then we're going to go to him. It was George Lucas did not know how it was going to go, to the point where he even had a book written that was partially based off like a half script he had to basically end the series, and it was a book. It was like a 200-page, like little tiny book, and they were going to sell that if the movie just tanked, and that was going to be the series end.
James
Called
Earl
Splinter
Jones.
of the Mind's Eye.
James Earl Jones wasn't even on the. James Earl Jones had less faith in the project than George Lucas did because he wasn't even on the credits.
Oh, what?
Really?
In the original cut of A New
He's
Hope.
the one who did Darth Vader.
Yeah,
right?
in
Yeah.
the
The voice.
in
not
the
the-
original theatrical release of A New Hope, James Earl Jones is not featured in the credits.
You
Or is
go.
it because he
You
didn't
go now.
like actually do the character?
Speak
I'm
over
sorry.
this man.
I'm sorry. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, I'll say this, like, when it comes to like the Mortal Kombat movie that like came out, like I think it was last year.
Mhm.
I will say, like, one thing that annoyed me was just that they added this random character who was like the kid of Scorpion for some reason. They
Yeah,
added him.
they added
in
a new
there,
character.
And
for
that
no
was just like
reason.
a weird plot line with the movie. But I still thought like because like the thing with that Mortal Kombat movie is just that like the whole thing with Mortal Kombat in general is just that like it's not supposed to be taken seriously.
His
like,
power
it's-
was really dumb.
Well,
too.
here's the
Exactly,
thing.
yeah.
He got
out of
s-
any-
he made
out
up
of-
a metal suit.
Out of any of the Mortal Kombat characters that should be able to canonically fuck, it's Scorpion.
Honestly,
What the fuck?
honestly though, him and Johnny Cage. Yeah.
No, I mean he deserves it after
Hold
he
on.
got his fucking whole village and his fucking wife and baby killed. So yeah.
that man deserves a little loving.
Yeah.
Not me though.
But anyway, back to the original question.
So when it does Uncharted stand as a faithful video or just like as a movie in its own?
I
as-
think
As its own movie, I think so. Yes.
As a video game adaptation.
I think it like
Sure.
I think it fall like Sonic. I think set up like
you looked for the audience at home. He looked very confident.
I think Sonic is like probably the best video game movie. I would argue the original Mortal Kombat movies, like they're cheesy and they're not like that great if I'm honest, but they're still fun to watch. And like the new Mortal Kombat movie that came out is like probably obviously better than the fucking second original one.
Also, part of me
If
is
I
like,
had to rank the Uncharted movie, it would probably be like, because the Mario movie is great in the worst ways. Because like the Mario movie is just garbage in every single way. Because the thing was with that movie.
why are we comparing it to the Mario movie?
Because it's a video game movie.
It's horrible.
That's the point.
Compare it to Sonic or something.
Yeah, but
we
the
already
Mar-
did.
Yeah, you have well, look, like
We
the
have we can't go an entire podcast about video game movies and not talk about
'cause
the Mario
wa-
movie.
The Mario
That's
movie was
true.
the
Talk about
first one.
Street Fighter.
No.
No, that movie
There
was
was a
all
Street
no,
Fighter movie?
Yeah, there is a Street
Oh,
Fighter movie.
Jesus.
And let me just
Okay,
say,
no,
Jean-Claude
no.
Van Damme
Chung
plays
Lee
as fucking Guile, and he does the most funny fucking speech
Yes.
you'll ever hear in your goddamn life. Like, it's just like, we can all go home, but if you want to fight against the people, we shall go. And then they're like, ah. It's such
Okay,
a horrible
And then
speech.
like this guy like goes up to him and he's having like he's like, you ruined my life. You killed these
You-
people. And he's
you-
like, for you, it was the worst day of your life. But
You-
for me, it was Tuesday.
Okay. So
It meant nothing to me.
we're gonna
And so
talk.
it's simultaneously like so cringe and bad, and you're like, ooh, that's kind of heavy though.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about the Mario movie, whether you like it or not. Okay. Okay. So here's the thing about the Mario movie. What the fuck?
let's keep it brief with it because we've gone on so many fucking tangents throughout the
No,
whole
Yeah.
podcast.
this
But
isn't
that's the point.
this
We're-
isn't-
It's
This is
just
the
the
Cringe
Mario
Binge
movie.
podcast.
four guys.
The
You can
Mario
cringe all you want. That's the
Yeah,
point.
the Mario movie is not a tangent in this case because it is a video game movie.
It's the
Mar-
first one, I think. Yeah.
Okay. I don't
It's,
know.
One
it's
of.
close.
One
It's
of,
close.
yeah. But like fucking Bowser is just some guy with slicked back blonde hair.
Was he black?
He's not even Bowser in the movie. They don't even call him Bowser.
He's King Koopa.
He's King Koopa. And
well, that's who
fucking-
he is, but like,
That's
Yeah,
how
he-
it was in the original game.
Mhm.
Yeah, he is King Koopa, but by the time the movie came out, he was Bowser.
Well, the thing with the thing with the Mario movie, the reason why like it's kind of hard to like be like okay with the movie, I guess is the nicest way I could say it, is just that like there wasn't much material. Like, how can you write a story about a fucking?
yeah, I think that was that's what killed
Mario
it.
2 had more plot than the Mario movie.
right.
Yeah,
but like
I
the
think it's
thing with-
because when
I
they
could go
first
into a whole
when they
rant about
first did
Mario
the
2, man.
synopsis for when they first
Like,
did the
the
synopsis,
history
for the
behind that is
movie,
crazy.
What they did was they just looked at the first game because that's all they really had.
yeah.
'Cause for them to come up with the '90s and to make a movie like this, they had time. So all they did was just use the first one or two games off it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really look at a Mario game, there's nothing much besides Mario go fight Bowser because Bowser
Well,
have
The
girl.
princess.
Here's the thing. They
Bowser do
had
have girl though.
they
Bowser
had
do have girl.
they had a New York plumber go into a fantasy land, but this fantasy land was not Bowser is a dragon. This fantasy land is Bowser is a crime lord in a steampunk fucking grunge whatever the fuck city.
With a cardboard backdrop.
King Koopa.
Koopa?
I'm gonna rock your world.
Kill me.
I will kill you.
No.
That is 100%.
This was
gonna
not.
happen.
That was not
I'm
a
gonna
literal request.
the,
I'm
mo-
gonna
the
stuff
most
you in
iconic,
an alley.
the most iconic
I'm actually
point,
interested in this, so I'm gonna look up a list of video game movies.
the most iconic like video game or moment in that movie is just Bowser just randomly going a monkey.
A monkey.
A monkey.
But okay, like when it comes to video game movies, I feel like it stacks up okay as a standalone
Yeah.
movie. It kind of fits in with like National
Yeah.
Treasure and like the movies with that National Treasure is the ones with Brendan Fraser, right?
No, that is the one with Nicolas Cage. Brandon Fraser, you're thinking about Journey to the Center of the
Journey,
Earth.
yeah, that one.
Yeah.
it, like,
which is
fits in
which is
with that.
another good movie, which I think you should
Yeah.
look at. But as for me, when it comes to this movie, I think it is a great movie to watch if you're an action, treasure hunting, that sort of fan. I
Right.
think as for a video game adaptation, it does a good job. If you were to try and generalize Uncharted into one movie, I think it does a fairly good job because there's a lot to
Mhm.
unpack in those movies. I think they did a pretty decent job.
I
Now,
can't
do
even
I think-
say that it was necessarily a bad adaptation of a video game because a lot of people will just say, "Oh, it sucked, bad
Oh,
video
because
game better."
because
But
it wasn't
honestly-
accurate, it's not good. Like no, that's
But
not how it works.
honestly, if you listen to the lines that they say and you have a history with the games, the stuff that Nathan Drake and Sully say, quotation marks if for you audio listeners, which is all of you, for episode 1 maybe, but they sound the lines sound like the characters. It's just that it's coming out of Mark Wahlberg's fucking mouth.
You
Okay,
really
so-
did not
Okay,
like Mark
okay,
Wahlberg.
I
in
will.
the
I will
movie.
admit,
It
I
was
like
strange.
Wahlberg and
Wahlberg was. There were moments, there were flickers of like, you kind of sound like Sully, but you also really don't.
So here's the thing. I'm gonna give you guys a mediocre example
Oh dear.
of a video game movie and then a good example of a video game
Hit
movie.
me,
Okay.
Jen.
Okay.
Okay. So Uncharted compared just a simple better or worse.
Okay.
Uncharted compared to Assassin's Creed.
Better.
The movie?
Yes.
Assassin's Creed the movie?
Yes.
Better.
I've actually
Okay.
never seen the movie.
Uncharted compared to Detective Pikachu.
Oh, Detective
Ooh.
Pikachu. Some
You
people
know what?
hated that movie. I actually kind of liked it.
You know, honestly, I think the plot was really weak in that movie, but like
It's a-
there's some
it's a-
people
it was
who were
a
saying that
beautiful
Pikachu-
movie
which one?
though. Like visually,
It's
it was really
supposed to
cool
be a
looking.
Pokemon movie, even if it's
Oh,
live.
Detective Pikachu?
Even if it's
Yeah.
quote unquote
actually
live
like it.
action, it's supposed to be a Pokemon movie, which are kids' movies.
Okay.
And the thing is also
Yeah.
like I think people shat on the Pikachu outfit for a while because they were kind of traumatized by what Sonic looked like. So
Because
or
it came
maybe
out
it was,
right after. Like, it was
Okay,
just a little
The
bit
only
later.
the only Pokemon you have the right to be traumatized about
Is
in that
Mr.
movie
Mime.
is Mr. Mime.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Mr. Mime was weird, especially the part where he likes to match and then throws it in there with the guy. I'm like, what in the world am I watching?
Mr. Mime was already a sociopath in the first video
That
game.
is true. That is very true. One thing I do
Mr.
want
Mime was a sociopath in Pokemon Red.
But one thing I know,
He was a clown guy.
I'm jumping back to
He
what
was a
Jarrett
short
was talking
alien bug
about.
clown man.
Exactly.
But to talk about what Jarrett was talking about earlier with Wahlberg, I think my favorite part from the movie that he did very well with is back when they were in the tomb when they first got the map, and Chloe double crosses them, and so he's down there, and then they're having this heartfelt conversation.
The salt urns.
Yep.
The salt urns.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're having this heartfelt conversation, and then Nate's like, "Come on, man, you dragged me all the way here. You're making me do all this crazy stuff just because you think that I have some crazy connection to Sam, and that Sam has somehow told me the answer to this treasure." And then he's just like, "Yeah,
Yeah, pretty
yeah,
much."
pretty much."
Yeah.
You
said-
figure out anything yet?
But of course, it was Mark Wahlberg, so he was like, "Yeah, pretty much." He's like, "Yeah, pretty much."
But I
You
think that's
telling me you don't?
I think that's the funny thing though. Is like it caught me off guard. I think he could do a better job if he actually played the source material.
If
I
that
don't
had
think
come out of Sully's mouth, like in the games, the actor who played Sully, it would have sounded perfect, like completely on cue. But he would have sounded like gruffer.
Mhm.
Both of them would have sounded gruffer. 26-year-old Nathan Drake would sound gruffer than
I can't
Tom
believe you brought me out here to go and hunt on this treasure after you didn't tell me my brother Sam died dealing with your stupid tale.
Okay, so here's the you were asking.
oh my god.
Okay, so you were asking earlier about who Marky Mark is.
Oh, are you
God,
gonna play some
no.
Marky Mark?
No,
Don't
play some
do it.
Marky
No,
Mark.
I'm not-
We're
I'm
gonna
not
get copyright strike.
I'm not gonna play any Marky Mark.
Drop the band.
Is Marky Mark in the Funky Bunch? Is what his band name was. That's what,
Oh my gosh.
That's what it was called. And so I'm gonna play a little clip from his workout video.
Don't do
Oh,
it.
Oh no,
Jesus.
don't.
Do I need to pay you money? I'm asking you not to.
We're gonna go hit it. Come on, let's go. All right. Cause Neil's downstairs. He's making 1 minute.
Hang on. Hang on. Pow! that pow, that was his catchphrase. Pow!
Oh my gosh.
And he was this fucking vanilla ice motherfucker with this little funky bunch.
My funky bunch sounds like a euphemism.
Fucking crabs.
So
No, God, no.
I think that like right now we could give like the final sort of thoughts on the movie since we kind of tangented our way to almost an hour of talking.
Well,
Yep.
honestly,
So-
I kind of love that
Okay,
we did
so
that.
so here's what we'll do so that way everybody has equal amount of time, no interruptions. You get 2 minutes to give your full thought, your overall thoughts of the movie, and to say whether or not you would suggest it to somebody watching it. And let's do a grade. Like, do you want to do out of 10? Does out of 10 work?
I would say
Out of
maybe a
10
thumbs
works.
up and thumbs down. I think.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. That works for me. All right.
Yeah.
Audio?
Well, I'd say well we're gonna say thumbs up, thumbs down.
Did
So-
You can't hear this.
All right. You can't
but
hear
my
this, but
thumb
this is a
is-
thumb down.
Well,
All
we're
my
just
thumb
gonna
is
say a
up.
thumbs down or a thumbs up.
right.
so,
So
For me,
you're gonna start.
yeah.
Alright.
So for me, I thought it was a fun movie to watch in general. I really enjoyed I'm not really we stated before since the beginning of the podcast. I never really played the Uncharted games, but I was familiar with the series for like a little bit, and like I know about the characters and everything. And I did really enjoy the Nolan North cameo. That's something we didn't
Yeah.
mention. The Nolan North. There's like a little moment where like you see the actual voice actor for Nathan Drake,
Yeah.
and he's just kind of chilling in the beach. And that's my whole kind of issue with the movie for the most part. It'd be like I know we had this discussion like it's better to play the games, but I feel like the games probably like we talked about like these like Nazi zombies and all that stuff, and it seems like I'd rather play the games because this movie didn't really like pull me into like watch. Maybe I'll watch a second movie. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like it was kind of bland.
Mm.
Like compared to like other like treasure hunt movies, like I feel like it didn't go crazy enough. I think they just kind of played it safe, and yeah, I feel like if I had to recommend this movie, or rather, would I recommend this movie? Probably not. If you just want to see like a safe movie, then and then that's kind of fun, maybe. But like, I'd say like Uncharted fans probably would feel like an indifferent way with the movie, the same way I kind of felt an indifferent way of Mortal Kombat the movie. Like I liked it, but it wasn't like the most crazy thing. So if I had to like rate it or give it like the thumbs up, thumbs down rating, I'd give it like halfway,
Okay.
halfway thumb.
All right.
Basically.
All right, Charlie, you want to give your thoughts?
Yeah. Okay. So I know that they Alberto they even though it's not as fun as stealing the Declaration of Independence. um, I did I
Nothing's
really
as
en-
fun.
I really enjoyed the movie, and I had a great time watching it, and I love Tom Holland, and I know like I don't really care about Marky Mark, you know. I'm not calling his name isn't Mark Wahlberg, it's Marky Mark. Um, but I don't like he's a decent actor. He could be worse, but like I just for someone who doesn't know anything about Uncharted and who just likes watching movies, I would absolutely recommend this movie because it's fun. There's comedy, there's emotion, there's action, there's there's this kind of childlike wonder throughout the whole movie of like, oh, when you saw when you learned about pirates for the first time in school and you were like, "Oh my god, that sounds like such an adventure." It brings back that sort of it brings back that sort of feeling in a little bit of the same way, not quite the same way, but it's that sort of feeling watered down a little bit, but it's still a good feeling. What do you
I don't get what's so funny.
No, I mean I just find it funny. Like you're kind of praising like childlike wonder and then watered down.
Well, because we're all like
We're all childs inside.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. It's the child inside poking out its head a little bit.
That's a nice way to phrase it. Yeah,
Is it?
So,
I thought the wording was really weird.
the child poking out.
all right. So you said you'd recommend the movie. You give it a thumbs up or thumbs down?
Oh, absolute thumbs up. I love that
Okay.
movie.
Okay.
All right. So I'll go ahead and give my two thoughts. So if you couldn't already tell from the conversations we were having today, I am a really interested person into history. I really like history, and so things like these treasure hunting movies have always itched that kind of thing for me. And so while I on the side of it being a video game movie, it kind of doesn't do well there. But I think it's if I had never played the games or never heard of it at all, and I watched this movie, I think I would enjoy it a lot. And I think that if you're into treasure hunting, if you're into any sort of history-ish movies, I think you would get a kick out of this action movie. I genuinely do. Like yeah, there were some faults. I think if there were some decisions that were made, I think there was a lot of things that could have been changed. But if they go through with the second movie, I would definitely be first place to watch it. Yeah, just like Charlie said with the childish wonder of it. I remember I got out of the theater, I got in my car, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, dang, I really want to go on a treasure hunt now. But then I realized that's really stupid. This is a terrible time to be traveling around the world with everything going on. But it's stuff like that. Movies like this can always itch, and I really enjoy stuff like that. I would definitely give this movie a thumbs up. I would give it 8 Sully cats out of 10. I would definitely recommend if you're into those action
Sully's.
treasure hunting movies. You
Didn't
should
he name it
definitely give it a
Mr.
shot.
Whiskers?
Yeah,
I don't
Mr.
remember.
Whiskers. That's
Yeah,
what
we
it was. Yeah.
never-
All I remember, he was like, "I don't want this fucking cat,"
And then all of a sudden, he wants the cat.
10 minutes later, he's like, "I really hope the guy fed my cat."
Is that
Yeah.
even in like the games? Or
Not at all.
No, not at all. This is something new. They brought
Oh,
something new to the table.
Wow, really? I
Yeah.
love that.
Really.
Yeah, that's
I
real.
kind of like it though because it humanizes them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What
Alright.
about you, Jared? It's your turn to give your 2 cents.
All right. Just to kind of put it briefly, I've played most of the games before, and I really love the world and that stuff that's been crafted. As far as the movie goes, with actually trying to portray that, you can tell that they didn't want to stick to it 1-to-1, and honestly, that's okay. It's not, as long as you know, like, the movie's not connected to the games, and it's not like an official PlayStation licensed prequel to the games, like the
It's-
series of games.
It's Sony licensed.
It's definitely not in the same like
Yeah.
universe, timeline, whatever you want to call it. That's really technical. But the point I want to make is, if you take it as a separate action-adventure movie with Nathan Drake and Sully, again, quotation fingers. It's a fun time, honestly. The character work, you can definitely tell that they've worked with the characters before, and they've had, like, they've met with the PlayStation people, and they know what they're doing. And as far as, like, the dialogue, like, they really pinpoint the characters, but I really wish they had gotten a better portrayal out of the characters. If you could, like, maybe, like, poke Mark Wahlberg a little bit and get him to, like, pep up a bit, maybe he'd be better. Plot, again, hodgepodge of all the games, but honestly, again, as a separate thing, it's just kind of fun to see all that. The action, fun, if silly. You know, it was just a fun time. I'd definitely go see the second one if they make one. Honestly, as a standalone movie, I'd give it a solid 7 out of 10. If as an accurate representation of the games, 6, but a thumbs up both ways.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you everybody for listening this far into the first ever episode of the Cringe Binge podcast.
Can I get some applause for that one?
Let's give it applause. We did it. We did a first episode.
We're never doing this again.
Okay. Go fuck
If
yourself,
you stayed
Charlie.
this long,
No,
on
wait,
the
wait,
real
honestly,
one.
this was
Hang
fun.
on.
This
What-
was.
What does this button do? Oh, okay.
That's very strange. I don't like it. I'm getting
Okay.
very.
This is a better button.
But honestly, I enjoyed this. I think we have
I
some
did
very
enjoy
nice
it.
chemistry here, and I would definitely enjoy to go and take another shot at this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
So
we had to decide on another movie, it'll probably be a movie.
50 Shades of Grey.
Absolutely
Shades of
not.
Grey? Oh Jesus!
Under
And
no
that's-
circumstances.
That's the Valentine's episode.
If you see
Oh
audio
wow!
listeners.
Look at that. Valentine's Day is
what?
passed.
Oh, my time is
Damn,
out.
that
Oh,
really
sorry.
sucks.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Audio listeners,
Damn, I have
thank you for
homework to do.
listening. Have a wonderful day. This has been the Cringe Binge podcast.
I love you.